Okay. So I'm gonna kick us off, but we're gonna be very fluid with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Today. Um, and I'm up for anything. I'm up for wherever you want to take it. I have an idea of where I want to go with it. So I'm gonna do, well, let's do this. What do I want to do today? And then and we'll talk about that. And then you tell me like what are you envisioning? And then we'll come to like a consensus about like what the game plan is for today.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So what I was thinking was we haven't finalized our character bios yet. And I really want to get to know like our characters a little bit more. So I was hoping that we can get through at least three or four more characters today. Um, and
Okay.
like really flesh them out. Not so detailed, but like enough detail. And I have some prompts here that can help us with that. Um, but I want to move through it. Like I don't want to spend too much time on each one. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Because I was going to say, like, as the story starts to move and conflicts or scenarios arise,
Mhm.
how they engage or interact or react to those conflicts and whatever the environment is in any given scene of the story, we're going to find out, you and me are going to find out more about them and how we decide that, how they, yeah. So,
Exactly. So
yeah,
I just want to, so you're cool with like moving through them?
yeah, very
Yeah.
quickly, yeah.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, I have like a little structure. So let me show you what I have. First, I'm just creating like a little a note doc to put our notes in. This is part of my problem, and you're gonna learn this is I create so many fucking documents, but I try to link everything back.
Yeah.
I know I just hate seeing like I like having like a master document where everything is, but I like compartmentalizing things, like I don't like having
Yeah.
everything on one thing. Like
Right.
there's a
Because then you have to scroll mindlessly every time to find something. And yeah.
exactly. I'd rather have like everything in a separate doc that's all like in a drawer nicely, ready to go. So I created another document for like meeting notes and agendas and stuff that we can like kind of follow. And it's gonna go from most recent to like earliest meeting. So pretty much like we'll see exactly what we did on the last meeting um and stuff. So eventually, we'll figure this out. Where are you at? Yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna link right there at the top, right under kind of our like our title head under where it says that's inspiration. There's
Mhm.
another link right there. It's called meeting notes. I just put it in right now.
Cool.
So if you ever want to see the notes for our meetings, just click there. I'm kind of designating myself as a note taker, but I think we should take turns doing it when you get a laptop.
Because you have a better setup. Like I'm
Yeah,
using my phone.
I know. And I'm sick of that excuse.
Ah, well, eventually,
Huh?
yeah. I'll get it back.
No, we should look into that. I know it's not I'm not ready to buy a new computer yet. But I do want to get a new one soon.
Mhm.
So when I go like to start to look for stuff, then we can definitely kind of shop around. Where are you at with things?
As far as like getting a computer,
Mhm.
um, well, I mean, because I'm going to be using plastic, so it's like,
Mm. You
you
can
know,
do it anytime.
that's the thing. But I'm like, but it's also like,
Do you want to?
but to just
Is it necessary right now?
is it? Yeah, like from my side, if you're taking notes,
I
like
would
I
say
can,
save. I
like,
would say just save up for it, G. Don't
yeah,
don't swipe for it, man.
yeah,
There's no point in getting in debt for.
more than half.
Yeah, save up at least half of it. And you don't need a new one, Danny. I know you're set on like getting one out of the box fresh, but you don't. I've bought in so many used computers over the years. They often work better and you don't feel as bad when they crash. They're gonna crash. They're gonna fucking crash out, bro.
Feel like I've bought in so many over the years. I'm like, well, they're not lasting, obviously, or what?
I bought a brand new MacBook in 2020, the newest one.
Yeah.
It crashed in 3 years. $2,800 down the drain. So I'm not doing that ever again.
Sure. I
I'm
wouldn't be getting.
never buying a new computer.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll tell you that right now, and I'll say that with so much conviction. If I ever need a computer, I'm buying one used.
All right. I think maybe if you were with me or if you were with during like did the process with me, it would make me feel better about it because it's like buying a used car. It's like I want to make
Mm.
sure that, and I'm not a car expert. So
Yeah,
it's like kind of like that.
I
All
feel
right.
you.
So
Okay, so this is my plan for today. So we're on, okay, let's do 25 minutes and then we'll take a 5 minute break. Is that cool?
yep.
We'll do 25 minutes. Okay. So looking at our character from last time. Oh wait, let me create a little agenda real quick. Hold on. Otherwise I'm gonna lose my mind. Um oh, what was that? Cindy's here. I didn't even realize she's here.
Are you
Um
in me?
yeah, I'm in meeting notes right now. Okay. So for agenda, we're gonna do first, let's look at all of our
Wait,
characters and
it says
decide,
permission to open it.
huh?
It says I need permission to open it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You should have access to everything
One,
in
click
that folder.
on,
Okay, let
boom.
me do something really quick. Hold on. Let me do something really quick. It's because it didn't automatically move to that folder because you have access to the whole folder.
Okay.
It's Danny O'Brien 1590, right? Okay, double check it now. Refresh it.
Oh, I think I got it.
You got it? Okay. It's because I when you create a new document, for some reason it doesn't always
For sure.
populate right into
I
that
think good like
folder. You got it?
yeah, I'm in.
Okay, cool. So first let's look at all of our characters, decide who we like and who we want to focus on today. Okay. And then we'll do that for 25 minutes and then we'll start to dive into the three characters. So we'll do like 25 minutes for each character, maybe even a little less. We can probably get to two characters each if we do like 10 minutes per character, just to get like the really quick like Cliff Notes version of each one. Um, because I don't think we need to like at this stage, I don't think we need to fucking because we're never gonna fully realize a character completely, right? Like it's like
I want to spend more time
story.
maybe for the story. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
same.
yeah.
Like I want to know, I want to be intentional who our characters are and what
Sure.
they have going back, in them.
And
But
that could change with
huh?
when the story, like in whatever like outlines for each character that we do, they could change over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So what I have going on right now is so I have the meeting notes. I'm taking some notes. I have the other document, the phase one, the character bios. It's hyperlinked on the phase one. So under there, these are the characters we have. So we have our, and these are just some people that I kind of went through, and then I think some of them are yours as well. Um, so we have these are just I'm just gonna start naming a bunch of characters. So we have and the names and the things and everything can obviously change. So we have Mateo, right? The politically incorrect, hilarious, way too adult troublemaker who roasts everyone, including the teacher. Christian, gullible, eager to please, autistic kid who wants to believe the chatbot's real. Laney, the fragile, and I should probably change these names because they're literally the names of some of my students. Um, but it helps me get like connect to that.
Oh, that keep it there for now. Keep it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that for now.
And then it's Lainey, the fragile but fearless, horror obsessed, epileptic girl who calls it from the beginning. Destiny and Jeremiah, black kids with tough gang related past, but are way smarter than people assume. Jade, stylish little girl with dwarfism who has the best comebacks. Rudy has mild Down syndrome. Loki, a perv, high key sports god. Mariana, quiet, awkward girl with a secret dark side. And then you have the teacher, disillusioned, well-meaning young teacher, chain smokes, shows up hungover, genuinely wants to make a difference, but has zero patience for bullshit. Imperfect, intellectual, raunchy, smokes too much, but cares about his kids. And then social worker, messy, idealistic woman who has a thing for the teacher. They flirt in between dealing with kids, cussing them out, and throwing things. So those are kind of like the main characters for me. Um, Now, then I went into like main characters, Marlon Garrido, and then I why did I put his last name? I gotta take his last name out. Okay. Then we have other characters like supporting characters. So take like 5 minutes and like go through this list and then just pull through like who seems interesting to you right now. Like what's calling to you right now. And I'll take 5 minutes too and see like, okay, what who can we work with? Like who would be like a good like sidekick buddy? Who's gonna have a like a big role? So we'll take 5 minutes to do that.
What's the name of our main character again? Was it Marlon or Eric?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It's the same guy. I don't know why we named him Eric on one and Marlon on another. Um,
I remember Marlon.
Marlon, okay. But yeah, he's
Because you said that it's based on a real person, right?
yeah, so Eric is a made up name. I don't have a student named Eric. So I think we like made up the name Eric, but the actual student that I'm thinking of is Marlon. He's just like I gotta find a picture of him. He's like so interesting. He's got like this physical deformity. Not obvious, but what the fuck are you smoking?
This is the big.
Ah, okay. It's huge.
Oh, is it? It's not. It really isn't.
It looks big.
Because I'm holding it like this. Like,
Ah, okay. It looked like
look.
one of those ones that like the
Oh,
customizable ones with the juice and everything. I was
no.
like, wait, are you full out like juicing already? Okay, so what I did really quick, I wanted to clean up the list just a little bit, because it's a little all over the place because I kind of been like, you
There's
know,
a lot, a little bit of overlap too. Like,
there is, yeah. So I cleaned it up a little bit. I made another document called character bios, of course. Because the document we were working on, it's kind of like it's an agenda more than anything, you know? And I didn't like I wanted to keep it as like an agenda. I don't want to like work on there because there's a lot of guiding prompts there that I want to keep I want to keep going back to for our characters. And I feel like if I use that document to like write about all our characters, it's gonna like I'm gonna get confused and lost. And so I made another document. If you click at the top of that, there's a document called character bios. On that document, that's where I cleaned up all our characters. So we have character bios. This is like the master doc for our characters. Okay, so here we're gonna use like to like keep our characters organized and like
yeah.
dive into them. Um, and every document I create, like there'll always be a place at the top for that document. So I'm never gonna just create documents and not link to them somehow, you know?
Mhm.
Plus they're all in our folder. So if you ever like go on Google Drive, do you have downloaded Google Drive downloaded?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
I have permission again.
Yeah, so every time I create a document, like if for some reason it creates it outside of the folder and then I just move it to the folder and then you should have access now.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Got it? Okay. So that those are our characters. So we have our core students, Eric. Let's keep his name Marlon right now because I don't want to get confused. So we have Marlon. Who are the three characters that you were kind of looking at that you want to like focus on today?
Well, it was Rudy, but you just mentioned Marlon has like a subtle like facial, like you could see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like that about Rudy on the other doc, not this one, where his little description now there, because these are
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit more than the other one. That one, the
Huh?
other one, more. So, and then also Natalie, because I was already picturing like looks like Natalie's a tomboy, so I'm thinking like a cute, pale, skinny girl, but like wearing like a t-shirt and like baggy pants or something. But she's pretty, she's cute, but
Huh?
like, and then along with the
Where is Natalie? Oh yeah, Natalie, loud, confident tomboy, brash and impulsive, but fiercely loyal.
yeah, but the other description was better on the out on the this is like the inception of docs, bro. Docs within docs within docs.
So you like the other description better,
Yeah,
where it said, what did it say exactly?
it's like towards the bottom. There's a
It
lot, but
said, oh yeah, so she doesn't back down from confrontation, um, and often speaks before thinking. That kind of thing.
mhm.
Okay.
Because Rudy's description, like his social God, I can't even read my own writing. Like his social Let me see what it's.
Oh my God. This
Whatever
is what
this.
I tell kids. I tell kids, I'm like, can you read that to me? And they're like, it says, how the fuck do you expect me to read that?
It's my own notes. That's why I think. But anyways, his characteristics can make like conflicts and situations interesting depending on the choices that he makes. Same with Natalie. That's what I was thinking when I read. And also, I had like looks pictured already.
Okay.
What
Wait.
about you?
Okay, so the three that I was looking at was I wanted to like finalize our main character and like just go over him again. Um, and then I wanted to look at the teacher and I wanted to look at the Cholo security guard. So
Okay.
why don't we do all six? Just like go fast with them.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So we'll do also I'm gonna just do something really quick because I wanted to keep that I wanted to keep that information. So previous notes, I put like at the bottom of our thing, just a previous notes tab where all the original character bios are.
Where's
Um,
that?
it's at the bottom of the character bios. It's like in a square if you scroll all the way down. Um,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. And so if there was something that you remembered from a character and then like it moved away, then it's gonna be right there, like the original descriptions. That way we don't lose that info. Um, So yeah, I wanted to look at Marlon. I wanted to look at the teacher, and then I wanted to look at the what's his name? Our homie, our Cholo homie. So then what I'm gonna do we want to do it like right underneath each character? Um, like just create like a drop down list of of characteristics or questions, or do we want to do another document? How would you like to structure it?
Um, do we want to keep those previous notes and like not touch that, or do we want to put it on that so that like it's like evolving?
Yeah, yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. So then we'll look at okay, so we have Marlin, who's our main character. Here we go. Okay, so we have Marlin. I'm just gonna highlight them for now. We have Marlin, we have um
If I turn this sideways.
I kind of combine these a little bit. Marlin again. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Um, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I got it. Creating a table, G. Creating various tables. Okay, let's look at Marlon. So, because we already have a good amount of information on Marlon. What was the character that you wanted to look at? Rudy, Natalie, and what was the other one?
I would just those two really kind of stuck
Those
out
two
to me.
stood out. Okay,
I'm forcing myself at that point.
okay, for sure. So Cholo security guard could even be a black security guard, but I think he's kind of be like the person that kind of holds everything together a little bit. Um, and then we have the teacher. Okay, so these are kind of like the guiding questions I was hoping to look at today. Tell me if you agree with these. The first one is what's the biggest fear or insecurity? What's their dream or goal? How do they see the teacher or main character? What's one secret they have? What's their role in the horror possession or story? And then how do they talk? Do we like those questions? Do we want to increase, decrease, add anything, or change it?
I think that's a good
That's a good
starting
start.
place.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. So we'll do Marlin first. And I'm just gonna I don't know if you see where I'm working.
Deeper dive.
Yeah, deeper dive. So I got kind of the prompts right there. Now let's just try to go through them quickly. Um, what's his biggest fear or insecurity, Marlon? What do we want? What do we want?
They're like 13, right, or whatever, so around there.
Yeah, I would
Because
say because they're going into high school. So
This is the last year in middle school. They're in eighth grade.
Yeah, their last year in middle school. It starts as they're yeah, it starts as they're transitioning. It could be at the end of their freshman year too. Like it could be either or of those.
Well, well, I mean, their biggest fear or insecurity could change from.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
a big.
yeah, exactly. So
It has a lot to do with school, right?
yeah. So what I remember from what we were talking about, like our antagonist, what we wanted him to like kind of look and feel like, we wanted hmm?
Protagonist or antagonist?
Did I say antagonist?
Said antagonist.
Oh, sorry. So what I wanted from our protagonist
Mhm.
to kind of like be afraid of, he's alone. He's afraid of being alone or not being desired, right? Because
Okay,
he's
yeah,
because he's
yeah.
kind of yeah. So his biggest fear is being alone and not being desired by others, not being desired by.
And that's not even romantic. Is that it's just in every way.
It's in every way, in all the ways. Yeah, he feels just like because he has even trouble like making friends, and
All,
just talking to women, and so that just in all ways, in all
all
ways,
are ways.
especially with women though. I think I want to emphasize that because I want to I want to really create a character who's like his motivation is romantic, and he's like a hopeless romantic. I wanted this character to have this like where he watches all these like old Mexican soap operas. Maybe his grandma takes care of him. Um, this is just coming to me now, but maybe his like grandma's taking care of him all the time. Parents work, mom works or something, and like she plays all these old Mexican like dramas and soap operas and stuff, like black and
Mhm.
white films, and like he just wants like he's been conditioned to think romantically about life and like he
He's a
sees hmm?
he's a romantic.
He's a romantic. Yeah. So what's his biggest dream or goal? I think that's what it is to have a family.
Biggest fear, right?
To have a family. Yeah. So to have a family, fall in love, and just be accepted.
Okay.
Um, how does he see the teacher or main character? Well, he is our main character, so how does he see the teacher?
Well, I think in order to we would have to wait until we got to the teacher to answer that for each character because we don't know exactly. I mean,
Well,
that depends.
let's say the teacher is based. Well, let me give you an example in real life
Okay, okay, okay.
because I always have something to pull from real life with these kids. So the way Marlon looked at me, like he looked at me for like a lot of advice, a lot of like affirmation, but he tested me a lot as well. Like he pushed the limits of his power,
Was
so
it
to speak. Huh?
like you were introduced to him?
He was one of my students.
No, I know, but like, did this happen early on or like later on?
It happened as we started, like as time started going. So
Okay.
the way it looked was like in the classroom, he was kind of an adversarial figure to the teacher because he couldn't help but question everything. He couldn't help but um be like very negative about things because he has such a negative like worldview and he's dealing, remember, he's getting bullied, he has special ed, he looks, fucked up. He like a lot of his life and then he's under the shadow of his brother. So like a lot of his life is like he has a lot of resentment built into him. So and then, over the years, I think he has never had a teacher who sees him for him, maybe, and kind of like values that,
Mhm.
um, and is someone who is maybe like a role model in a way, then like maybe like a man who he wants to be like, but at the same time, um, he doesn't know what this teacher can do for him or if he will do anything for him. Like, and I think that's always the challenge with students is when you meet a teacher or when you meet an adult, you're super skeptical. You're like, okay, I mean, yeah, you say you're my teacher, you say you're gonna help me. How?
Mhm.
Is that our first 25? Okay, that was fast. Okay. Let's take five. That was good. Good job.
Well, feels it doesn't feel good to just end it like that. Like, should conclude
Okay,
something.
let's finish this thought. Let's finish Marlon. Um, let's finish him. Okay, so how does he see the main teacher? Huh?
So we're cooking, baby.
Okay, how does he see the main teacher then? Off of all of what I told you, how would you summarize it?
Like he can accept that he is coming from a good place, but he questions what he can do for him, and we can
Beautiful.
expand on that later.
But
So
questions his
what he can do for him, I think that's
role and what he can actually do for him. Would we say that Marlon's a little apathetic or nihilistic? Do we want to go that far?
well, based on what you said so far. I wouldn't even say nihilistic, but he's conditioned to because people treat people with like special needs, not maybe it's a really rough comparison, but kind of like homeless people. Like they don't even look twice at them. They're like separate from the community, separate from society. They're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So based on that, that's why he's like, even though the teacher is like good meaning, like he's like, well, what are you going to do to invest in my like to help me personally,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I hear that. Yeah. I hear that.
Based on what,
Okay, good. I like that. Okay. So what's one secret? I think with Marlon, I was like playing around with this. We don't have to keep this, but I either wanted him to like remember we were talking about like porn? Huh?
he's got to have a huge honk.
That's what I was saying. Does he have like he just has a huge dick for some
Yeah,
reason?
he's just hung, bro.
Why is that a secret? He has a huge dick.
Eventually,
You know
when
what
it's
would be funny, Danny?
what
Like um if there's like a backwards like let's say like all the kids are like super insecure around him because they've seen his penis, in the locker room or something. And
like
like,
he doesn't know that they talk about it or like
yeah,
that they're that could be something. But
that's kind of
that's not really that's not really his secret. That's a
no
secret of
amongst other people.
like
And
because
like even Mhm.
that it's part of like the deeper dive. Like that would make sense for this question.
Okay.
Like he doesn't have to have a person like a secret like that. It's like
Okay. What's his role in the horror possession part of the story?
well,
He is the he's the one who wrangles, is that a word? Wrangles? He's the wrangler, right? Wrangler?
well, he's
He
the
wrang
protagonist.
like he wrangles the crew together to push to fight for, saving this girl because he likes her,
Mhm.
right? Or what do we want? What do we think?
This is where I'm like, well, it depends on the story. Like I feel like
He initially, yeah, I know this is it. This is interesting. Okay, let's do as much as we know because we don't know really everything that's gonna happen yet. So, do we want him to be the savior or do we want him to like be a leader? Do we want him to rise to the occasion? How about that? He,
is this be a triumphant
yeah,
story or you or is this a tragedy?
it's still a triumphant story, but it can end in tragedy. But he still, he could die at the end of it, but his arc is gonna have completed something, some kind of, mission.
How would you say that the ending of I know this is so like but like as far as like ending a character the protagonist arc in a story like the end of Sicario I don't really know what to think of how that story ends because she was forced to like sign the thing, right?
Mhm.
And you're like with the wolves now or whatever, like this is not you shouldn't be so it's like she survives but like what kind was is that a tragedy or is that triumphant? How would you say that?
No,
Is
no, that's like realistic. That's like realistic and
no,
duality. But I think that's not a happy ending.
okay, so do you want something like that then?
No.
Where like they make it out, they survive or whatever, but like, you
I want there to have been like real losses, but I do want a happy ending. Kind
which
of
would
like
be it's the girl or
kind
something.
of like Inglorious Bastards, you know how obviously a lot of people have died at that point and a lot of things have happened. Fucking Jews were exterminated, but they fucking burned down
Okay.
the thing and they fucking carved, the Nazi sign into it. So something
At the
like
end,
that where you
we lost so many people.
yeah,
Like, and okay, yeah,
because
yeah,
we're making a fucking movie. Like it's got to be a dream, Like I don't want this shit to be like this is why I love Tarantino. Because he makes movies of the world that you would have wanted to have like been in, And like that's the all the revisionist history aspect of it. Like even though this film is not based on history, it's
sure.
still I still want it to feel triumphant in that regard because we're dealing with like real students, real characters who oftentimes their stories in real life don't end happily or they don't have these arcs. So I want to envision a world where these characters do fulfill some kind of, higher purpose.
Hmm.
So let's just say he rises to the occasion and becomes an unexpected leader or savior or hero.
Okay.
Okay. Rises to the occasion and becomes an unexpected hero. How does he talk? Any specific speech patterns, slang, or catchphrases? This could
Well,
also be
can you
like
describe?
how do they look?
I was gonna say, can you describe him again? Like what? Like the student? Like you're a
Let's
real
add
student.
that.
I'm going to assume that you're gonna want to emulate those characteristics in this main character, right?
Yeah. So how does he look? From what I had, um, well, from the kid that I remembered, he has some kind of significant visible deformity. So the kid actually that I worked to was kind of like he had like this little hunchback, and then his face was all like this, and then he had like one eye like this and like one eye like this, and then his head was sunken in certain parts.
Okay.
Because he had like hemorrhages when he was younger, so he had to get like many surgeries, brain surgeries. And then like his arms, like some of his fingers are longer than others, and like he just walks funny. He kind of looks like he kind of looks like a Harry Potter character, like or like a I gotta give you a name. Okay, like do you know who Google this character real quick? He's from the what's it called? What's this movie? Hold on, let me see. Oh fuck, the movie's escaping me. Well, let me see if I can find it just searching Harry Potter characters. I don't know if it'll show up. Almost like a mini. Who is this guy? Do you remember like I think he's like a janitor or something. His name's Argus Filch, but he's old at this point.
Oh yeah, Filch, the one with the cat.
Yeah, with the cat. How he kind of has this like brooding, like weird, like facial
Oh,
feature. Yeah. So he
so he
has this like weird like facial features and like but add like a humpback and then he's like a kid. So like he's visibly like kind of scary looking. Like it has to be obvious. Like not to the point, like Elephant Man where he's like, "Argh," like not that extreme, but he's scary looking. Like and he's like off-putting to people.
okay.
Because it has to be real. Like, and this was like, it has to be real because like, there's a huge like for women, especially at that age, like you ain't looking at that kid. Like he is not an option, you know? Just no way. Like he might be friendly and might be, but like you're not that there's no physical like attraction there. So He has
Okay.
this,
No, I
he
like
has,
that.
yeah. So he's got that aspect of him. And then how does he talk? I mean, he kind of has like he doesn't have a lisp, but he has like he doesn't have a speech impediment or anything, but he talks really rushed. Um, he's he is a he's a little vulgar.
Like uh is it Rain Man that I'm thinking of? Dustin Hoffman, where he plays that
Mhm.
autistic
Yeah.
guy. He mumbles to him. Does he like he and well the character, I mean, I'm not saying that it's the same thing, but like
Oh, he
in the
laugh. He used to laugh at himself.
really, really quickly, and he's like, I think we don't like this, and then like that kind of, like is it like that or
No, no, he's not autistic. Like this kid is he doesn't have autism. He's the,
how would you emulate like
the
how he like reads a sentence like if you were to read like
okay, so if I were to say like hey, Mr. B, Mr. B, let me see. Remember that one time and like he's totally oblivious to like what you have going on. You could be like in the middle of something and he's like, "Hey, Mr. B, schedule what are we doing today? Is it are we gonna go into the class? Like, hey, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you." Like he gets very animated and like very like all at once, you know?
uh,
And then during class, he will like he'll be in his own little world and then he'll be like reading something on his computer and he's just like, ah!
like just
And
busting, not
just now
like
busting laughing. And then we're all like, Marlon, what's happening over there? He's just like, and then he shows me like a video of like Chavo del Ocho. I'm like, why are you looking up Chavo del Ocho videos? And
that's hilarious,
he
dude.
would
That's
do that, bro. And I'm like, that's funny, but and he would laugh like hysterically, like at like Chavo like falling over a bucket. And I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. And he's very vulgar and he's very direct. So like he can't lie, cannot tell a lie. So he's just like if he sees something, he'll say exactly what he feels like. You could tell that, nobody ever wants to be with you. Like you're ugly as hell or something. Or I don't know, he'll just say shit like that where it's like, Marlon, no, dude, that's not polite. Like why would you say that? He doesn't give a fuck about being polite because
now in your so he's not self-aware then.
not 100%. No. No.
So
None of
that
these
totally
kids are. Not
because
only a few of them are.
because
That's a rare trait to have at this age. I feel like.
sure, but like for the story's sake, these kids are going to be a little higher functioning then, right?
Yeah, but they're not going to be totally self-aware of every trait they have. Like,
Sure, sure, sure.
you know,
But we were describing Marlon, right, earlier, to answer some of the other questions, like where right, he questions what the teacher can do for him because he knows the stigma like surrounding him
yeah.
and his. So
So
he's
like,
obviously
so
aware.
maybe this is an act.
Huh?
Maybe like his behavior is an act,
Ah,
you know?
okay.
Because often it is like something that I've read and like understood in my time as a teacher.
Back of the story,
Say that again?
where that would be something really cool to reveal at the
Mm.
end of the story. It's like where Samuel Jackson starts walking in Django at the end, like he was pretending that he was walking on the cane the whole time, and or like when Kenny takes off his hood at the end of South Park or something. Like it's just like something where it's like, whoa, wait, what? That was all an act? Like you like being loud, animated, direct, all that stuff. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
maybe to a degree we can see, but
That would be cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think maybe he could be doing it consciously or even subconsciously, but maybe he's doing this behavior in class, trying to be like a class clown, trying to be mean and rude because, his idea is like, I'm pushing people away before they can even get to me because I'm so insecure and I'm so hurt that I'd rather like not even give people a chance to like come like get into who I am because I'm so uncomfortable and like unsatisfied with who I am as an individual that I want to like that I can't let other people in either, you know? Same thing with the teacher. Like maybe the teacher really wants to connect with the student. Maybe the teacher really wants to, you know, understand the student a little more, but he can't, you know, because the student is like unwilling, unable to, you know? Why is Becky calling me? Okay. Can we take five then?
Yeah. You want to
Okay,
get off the meeting?
yeah. No, you could stay on it. Just take
Okay.
five.
All right.
Okay. All right, I'll be back. But yeah, yeah, I'll call you later. I'll talk. We'll talk tonight. Are you gonna be out there all day? Okay, I'll call you in the afternoon or something. All right. Let me see what. Yo,
Yo,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Dude, I really want to smoke right now, but I promised myself that I was gonna take like 2 weeks just to like cleanse.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Is that like
What do you mean cleanse? What does that mean? That's what I'm skeptical, G. I need more data. It's the scientist in me. Gotta ask questions.
just cleanse, bro?
What does that mean? To build up tolerance? Sure.
Yes, to build up tolerance.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I felt
I
like
don't support it, but no, I'm just kidding.
you don't support that.
I'm just kidding.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't have any. Right? Well, like, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, well, I mean, because you as a smoker, like, are there any times where you're like, I need to chill a little bit, I need to like, or you're just like full steam ahead?
No, absolutely. But
What?
not like for that, not for that long though.
How long?
Like a day.
A day?
Yeah. Sometimes depending, like if I'm like, for example, when I'm with you, or if I go out, or if I leave, or if I'm just busy enough that like it's just not feasible, then because I don't take it anywhere with me.
Mm, yeah.
I mean, even if I'm going somewhere for more than a day.
Well, I do know that you're not, I would not consider you like addicted
Yeah. I
because
don't need, yeah.
yeah, because I've
Like,
seen you in many situations where you,
like take it to a baseball game or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'm just texting real quick. Yeah, bro. See, my issue is that hold on. I told this girl, I'm like, I'm working on a film right now. She's gonna be like, what? Like, you mean working on a film? That's such like a baller thing to say, bro. Like,
Much you have so much receipts for your love of film that it's not even like that out of the question. Like you're an artistic person. This is your artistic side, like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, your creative side coming out, showing.
So the only reason I wanted to like take a break is because I had been smoking a lot, bro. Like throughout this trip in Chicago, I was smoking every day, pretty much all day. Um, the weekend before that, when I think I went to, remember when I went on that little trip with Cindy?
Mhm.
I was smoking like
You
nonstop there.
didn't tell me about that trip.
Huh?
That's when you guys came out, right? To
Yeah. You don't know about it?
I don't think we ever really,
We didn't
you
like
know,
do a full dive on it, huh?
yeah.
There's so much at this point. It's all gonna go lost into the ether.
I think we talked about what happened after.
Yeah, the result is it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like no sparks
Yeah,
were
I
like
think you dropped the ball about like, hey, this is happening, right? I remember if I remember correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm not gonna full disclose. I'm just like laying it out so it doesn't get
wrinkled.
wrinkled and then we can start. But let's start talking about the next character. Who's
Okay.
do you have the list up right there?
No. I was asking prompts to
Okay, I started the timer, so we're going for another 25 minutes. Our next character, Rudy. Can you look at the description that we wrote for Rudy? What does it say?
um
I know Rudy really well. He's a funny character, man. He's more closely, he's more closely to like what people think of when they think of like special ed, because he has like intellectual disability, which before it was called like retarded. And he looks you could tell he has like mild Down syndrome, talks like a kid.
Okay, so he has a cleft condition and mild Down syndrome.
Yeah.
He loves sports and is well liked, but his social boundaries can be questionable, leading to awkward yet often humorous situations.
Why did you say it that way?
Acting.
Huh?
That's a when you deliver like sentences, you got to be like,
Why did you enunciate right there?
because I lost my place.
I thought
Because
you
I'm
were
like,
I
I
thought
put
you
the
were
phone.
questioning.
Listen, I put the phone like down here, and then I'm like, I got my head all the way back here. It's a tiny screen. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let me tell you the inspiration behind Rudy, okay? So Rudy is this kid's actual name, okay? I met
Mhm.
him obviously at ODLH, and he's like he has such an energy about him. He's like very funny. Think about like one of the guys from the Johnny Knoxville film, The Ringer.
Mhm.
You know, like I forget which one, the chubby one who just says like random like fucked up stuff or like weird stuff sometimes. He's kind of like that character where he'll be
Okay.
like he'll just say things um like kind of outrageous things that he hears, but he doesn't know what they mean, you know? And like he sees a lot, huh?
Can you give me an example of something that you remember he said?
Um okay, well, this is more of an extreme example, but one time he told me that one time he showed me a vape pen, marijuana vape pen. And he was like, Mr. B, look what I have. And then I was like, Rudy, what is that? And then he's like, it's a vape, it's weed. And then I was like, yeah, why do you have that? And then he's like, I
But
don't
he
know.
said it proudly, like it's a weed.
Yeah.
Like we're not like we're gonna get in trouble if somebody
Yeah.
else here. I
I'm like,
like
do
that.
you I'm like,
Like
do
the
you
way it's weed
it's
like that.
weed. Yeah. Like he thought it was cool, but he didn't really know what it did. He was just holding
Oh,
it for he was just holding it for someone. So this kid took advantage. No, he would get taken advantage of by other kids because he was so gullible and like he would do so kids would steal his money, kids would use him as like a scapegoat for things. They would he would get bullied a
this
lot.
is a great scene right here.
Huh?
This is a great scene.
Yeah?
Wait, like that example that you like that's really good. Like,
That's funny, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
you could build a scene around that, like, And this is where it's like it feels like the comedy will come naturally in a horror, like a really scary environment, like,
Mm, yeah.
you know,
So that was
because it's not forced, because
right.
it's just who they are. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if a normal person did that, that would be like, dude, where's my car kind of vibe, or like some like just like obnoxious comedy. But because it's like that, like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like it feels appropriate and it's
Yeah.
still funny though. Like
Yeah. So
uh
he would do
let me
shit like that.
could we use that specific scenario? I'll be able the name changed because or is that like traceable? Because
No.
like
No, no,
there's
no, not at all.
okay, so then that's good.
So we could put that under like, do we want to write that down somewhere? Like scene ideas?
For answering the questions for
Oh yeah, let's answer the questions for him. So we have things like that. He was big on his phone. So he would always use his phone for things and like kind of
like
just huh?
like what things?
Like he was addicted to his phone. Like he was constantly
Like just web like what do you mean?
random websites, YouTube, playing video games all the time, a lot of social media. Like he would tell me about this girl that he followed, and it was like a chat, like it was spam, one of those like spam accounts with like 5,000 followers. And he was like, look at who followed me, Mr. B. Like I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend. And I'm like, Rudy, I don't think that's a
This
real
sounds like good introduction for a AI chat bot. Like
like maybe he could be the one he's the gullible one.
yeah. and then somehow Marlon either is like, because we have to have an inciting incident, like what starts our journey, right? Call to action. Um, like, and if Marlon is our main character, um, I'm just trying to think how early in stories is it obvious that the protagonist, like the person on screen, is the protagonist? You know what I mean? Is it like the first frame, like in Oppenheimer, where it's like in his eyes, like or is it like after several scenes, you know?
Maybe after several scenes, it becomes clear later. Yeah.
So then that gives us a chance to like really get to know Rudy. Like if we use like that scenario that you had in real life, and there's so much to build
I
off of that. Um,
I would like a dual protagonist situation.
okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because it's like, so I feel like, but how would it make sense if Rudy is gullible enough to be like enchanted by whatever, some AI, spiritual, whatever we decide it's going to be. Because originally we thought, because we want it to be a love thing too, so we have to fit that in. Is um
Okay, let's I feel like
okay, we're going more towards story.
yeah,
Okay,
we're
yeah.
going more towards story now, and I love that. But I want to have our characters so we can fit in our characters there later on, you know? So okay, what's his biggest fear and insecurity? Now, with him, he was afraid of his mom more than anything.
Okay, that works. Hold on. Pause. Hold on. That
Dude,
works.
he's just terrified of his mom. He's a big fucking mama's boy, bro.
Okay. Okay.
I remember like you know how you could warn like you've been warned like hey I'm gonna call your parents and most kids are like fuck you I don't give a fuck like call my parents.
Well,
He would
well,
cry if
mm,
you told like I couldn't even use that against him because it was too extreme. It was like it would set him off. He would be like no please Mr. B please she's gonna hit me she's gonna ground me and I've actually called CPS on his mom.
now is he just like exacerbating, like being like or is she like a good parent? Like
She's a good
why
parent. She's a good
strict?
parent. She's a
Oh no.
strict parent.
So
She's kind of like a Miss Trunchbull, but like she's Miss Trunchbull and Miss Honey combined into one. She's a single mom. She's tough. She's strong, but at the same time, like she hits him. She puts the fear of God into him, and he's a child. You know, like he's like his mindset. You gotta think like his mindset's of that of a child. You know, so he really is like he's not like Marlon in the sense where he's like thinking about, all this like he doesn't have the cognitive ability to like be self-aware and like think about the future and that stuff. Like literally he's missing that part of his brain, right? Like because of his disability. So because of
he's gonna
that,
okay. So now how much do you want to use of that real person for this? Is are we going to use the mom, or do we want to replace that with something? Can we replace that with something maybe a little bit more interesting? Because mom,
I think it's
well,
hilarious.
huh?
I think it's good, and I'll tell you why. Because one is like there's a lot it's really interesting because some parents they become this force in their kids' lives where like his mom is his whole world. He loves his mom. Like he can't see a future without his mom around. He's like very much been like harbored and protected and because his mom wants to make sure that, she has a son with a disability, so she's like a super protective woman. So his arc, in my mind, is how does he get out of that shadow and become his own person? That's what I would like his arc to be. Like push back against his mom, push back against that authority figure, like that scary female authority figure in his life, and like start to, I don't know, I don't know, start to find some value in his own agency or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? We could change it later.
Can you give me a contrast or another like relative to like Marlon and his parents? Do you know anything? What was your experience like with that relationship?
Marlon didn't he didn't have like there was no visible.
Mom, if you threatened to call his parents, right?
No,
Okay.
they didn't care like that.
Okay.
This one was exaggerated. It was like he would talk about his mom like adoration wise, like he would like look up to his mom. And remember, it's not cool to like do that at this age. You know, it's like it's to be a mama's boy at this age around a bunch of like men. It's like that's not a cool thing. But he didn't care about that. And that's
Mm.
why he was infantilized, I think is how you say it. He was infantilized by his mother, kept from like developing his own agency because she's so terrified and protective of him that like it's affected like all other aspects. And he's actually really unhappy, but doesn't know why and doesn't know like even where to start with it. Um but yeah, compared to Marlon, for example, like Marlon's influence doesn't really come from his parents. His parents are there, they're present, they're okay, they're working. He like Marlon, I feel like more admires his grandparents because it's like a different time. And it was like a time where things were romanticized and he kind of got like lost in this idea of what life was like back then. He thinks life was like because he used to watch all these like 1950s, 30s like classic Mexican films because his grandma would put them all the time. He really got like grew up thinking like that was the ideal like way to live, like the man and a woman and like they have to have this and they have to have a romance and like so he grew up idolizing that. Whereas Rudy, he doesn't have those like goals or aspirations. Like moving on to the next point, um, what's his dream or goal? I think he just wants to make his mom proud. There's nothing else there or happy. Like, and it's I don't want to like diminish
Because
I don't want to diminish that.
okay,
It's important. Like remember we're talking about kids here.
sure,
And
but every dream or goal going to just be to get over their insecurity, right? Or fear?
I mean, not everyone, but I think at that age,
Do you
um,
want, sorry to, no, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's all good. I just think at that age, like, what else is there? Like, besides discovering your identity, fucking getting laid, having friends. Yeah, there are some kids who have like, we want to be the president or something or some insane goal like that, but a lot of these goals are innate. A lot of these goals are subconscious. Not these kids don't, I don't think not all of them should, this is my opinion. I don't think a lot of them should have this conscious awareness of like, this is my goal and my dream and I'm working towards that. Like that's just not realistic. So this is more for us of like, what are the subconscious desires that are pulling that kid toward where we think he wants to go, you know?
Now, a good question is with this question, their dream or goal, are they going to, in this story, accomplish that? Because how, even with some crazy traumatic event that whatever's going to happen in our story, at the end of it, maybe he still like ends up like because I was thinking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the best friend, right? He wrecks the Ferrari at the end, but the whole like he was scared. He had that like my dad's gonna freak. He loves this car more than me, like that kind of thing. And at the end, he's just like, whatever, it's all good. Like I'm gonna take it like a man. Like we're gonna have a little chat. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And is it like that, or is it the end where it's like, the mom comes and oh, you're gonna get it. Wait till we get back home, like that kind of thing. Like, because
Could
you
be.
haven't, like, you know, because our protagonist maybe is going to get the girl, but like, is this character going to trans as well? Like, is every character and we don't have to answer that, but because I'm just thinking about that when thinking about what's their dream or goal, you know? Because like, just because they have that doesn't mean that they're going to get that, right?
I agree with that. Not everyone is gonna achieve that. No, not everybody is. And I don't think our little buddy Rudy is either.
Okay.
I don't feel hopeful for him.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't. I feel like he's stuck with his mom, especially because of his intellectual disability. Like if anyone has to undergo some kind of transformation, it's the parent.
Yeah. And I was going to say, how would we even show that anyways? If
We
that
wouldn't.
seems, you know, that would take us like somewhere else. That's
Yeah,
not.
no, we wouldn't. I mean, part of me also like, yeah, I put a lot. Part of me also is like, I feel like this would be a good like show
Well,
versus
yeah,
movie
yeah.
because there's so much here. Like, I would love, you know, Abbott Elementary, the show.
Mm, part of it.
Okay, it's a,
Do you,
it's,
is that the Spanish one?
mm.
Oh, no, no.
No, you can look it up later, but it's a show about inner city school in Philadelphia,
Mhm.
and it's from the teacher's perspective. It's kind of like a mockumentary, and it just details the lives of these teachers, but it's about it's only about their work life mainly. It does start to give you more details as you go about their personal lives, but it's kind of like The Office. You're here, you're with them, you got your main batch of characters, and then it's just like hijinks and drama and like things unfold and relationships carry over. And I could see this being like what like a show like that, like because there's so much interesting dynamics and characters and
And we would then that it's hard to do that with the horror element. You know what I mean? Like
well,
how
not well, that's where Stranger Things comes in. Stranger Things did it.
that for let's say like a whole season, like 9 episodes of a show, a
Mhm.
9 hour, like that's
It could be a limited series.
like Chernobyl, 5 episodes.
I was just saying that there's material here for like I feel like there's material there. I mean, I'm cool with making just a movie. Like I
Well,
like
yeah, but that's the like Matrix started out like right as, and then they're like forced to turn like the second story into two other movies. So like maybe that's like our thing, right?
hmm Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows? So okay, so what do we how does he see the teacher, main character? He sees the teacher as a friend. He
I
would
was gonna say
yeah.
it's like
Huh?
hey, like that says so much between the relationship already. Like yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He
Dude,
sees the
that's so
teacher as a
funny.
friend.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Hey, Mr. V, it's like,
Sweet. And I just was like, okay, Rudy, you shouldn't be holding that. You should. That's. We're gonna we're gonna have to have a conversation. I asked him. I was like, "Can I hold on to it?" And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "You're not in trouble, okay? It's okay. Like, I just need to hold on to it." And he was like, "Okay." And he gave it to me. It was the saddest thing. It was like you could
if
tell he
that had
had.
been a different teacher, they probably would have been like
Yeah,
even up or whatever, call parent, like yeah, that kind of thing.
yeah. And I was just like, "All right." And I did talk to the principal about it, and but I was like, "Hey, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And even if he does, like." he's he shouldn't be punished for this, you know? But okay, so he sees the teacher as a friend, and then the main character is an adversary for him. Marlon is his foe, bro. They go at it, bro, in the classroom
Okay.
because like Marlon will like make fun of him, because Marlon's a little more intelligent, like he's a little bit more witty.
Real Mama or the
Huh?
character that you have in your mind.
This is both. I'm going. These
Yeah,
characters are literally coming from like the
yeah,
world that I used to live in. I can't even make this up at this point.
yeah, yeah.
I think it would be worse if I made them up because I had no idea like what to build off of. And that's the
What's
reason.
people? We're not making regular people. We're making
No.
special education
Yeah.
So that's very, yeah, it's good to yeah, because it makes it more authentic, easier to be real. Yeah.
Yeah. So they would get into these shouting matches in class. Um, and they would
Oh,
go back and forth, and Marlon would be like, "Shut up," and then Rudy would be like, "What's up then?" Like he would act like he's trying to fight, you know? But it was just so silly, and it was just some of the funniest like scenes in class because you basically had these quote unquote these,
World Star,
huh?
special ed World Star. Yeah.
And everybody's just like, both of you sit down. You ain't gonna fight each other. Like, just they're both posturing to who knows who. Like
Would you want to show that?
that would be cool because
Somebody
they
should definitely need to like in the background yell World Star. Like somebody has to yell that in the scene. Yeah.
they would,
Okay.
you know what else is interesting because a lot of these special ed kids they don't have the agency or the ability to stand up for themselves where it counts. They take it out on each other because they're on equal footing. You know, so that's why I think Marlon is his foe, like
Different than rival because
or
rival like
rival.
no, well, I mean rival means that they're like they both like want the same thing, right? They're both after or they're both doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think they just don't get along.
Foe
Foe is
don't
better.
get just don't
Yeah.
get the
He
yeah.
just doesn't like him. Doesn't
Yeah.
even know. He doesn't even really know why. They just rub each other the wrong way. Like they probably should be friends. Like they should. They have more in common than not. Like, but I think a lot something that happens too with special ed kids is they don't like hanging out with each other because it's like it's interesting. It's almost like they're repelled by it because they want to be seen as normal. So like if they're
Like yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So if they're together, then it's like they'd rather be alone, bro. Like sometimes in lunch I have like three different kids, like Jaden's over there, Elijah's over here, and Rose is over here, and they're all sitting down like on their own. Why don't you guys get together? Like you guys would get along. You have a lot of same interests. I don't want to talk to him. He's weird. I'm like, bitch, you're weird. You're both weird. Just shut the fuck up and go sit with each other. It's like I chaperoned this trip in SeaWorld and the kids were allowed to roam and just go on their own. And I had a few of my kids there too. Like there's this kid Elijah and this other kid Roman, and they're like they both have autism and they're both huh?
Different.
This was recently.
I'm sorry, a different Elijah.
Oh yeah, no, different Elijah. Yeah, than the one that passed away. Um, and this kid, they both were like just alone in the theme park, and I'm like, guys, why don't you like go together? Like you guys can partner together. So I got them both together, and I was like, you guys are gonna follow each other, okay? So I gave them a directive. I was like, you guys are not to separate. You can't be alone because if I ask them permission, they're not gonna want to do it. So I told them you're gonna stay together, and they had a great time.
Your partner today. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so, and they had a great time. So it's kind of that situation with him. They almost should be like good friends, but they're just like foes for some reason. One secret he has, he still wets the bed, or he wears a diaper, or any that's too funny. He has a really hot older sister. I don't know.
That's not a secret.
I don't know.
Would that be a secret?
Mm, he's a
Um,
he's a drug dealer.
no, you said that he's like not even competent
But
and that
maybe
like
he's like a mule and he doesn't realize it. You know?
it worked for now. That's kind of funny. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, right? He's a mule. He's a mule and doesn't even realize it. He was also something cool about Rudy is like he was kind of like the school mascot in a way.
Mhm.
Um, damn, that was 25 minutes again. Jesus Christ, we can't even get through one character in 25 minutes. He's a mule and doesn't know it yet. We'll leave it there. Okay, we'll finish this character. He doesn't know it yet. What's his role in the horror possession or that part of the story?
How do we answer this question for?
We said, for Marlon, we said he rises to the occasion and becomes an unexpected hero.
Okay.
Do we want him to like be a part of the process of like because he's so like because he's gullible and because he's able to like be of influence? Do we want him to take part in some of this somehow? Maybe he gets possessed.
Maybe he's the one who gets put no, and then later on the girl gets possessed somehow.
Or it could be many. It could be multiple possessions.
Again, that goes like towards the story. So as
Yeah.
far as building the character,
So I don't want to talk like facts about the plot. I just want to know like an overview of like where
question yet, really. Then
so we can leave that blank.
okay.
Okay. How does he look? Well, we kind of already talked about that. He has a cleft, mild Down syndrome. He's fat.
Okay. Like fat fat
He's overweight. He's chubby.
is round.
He's round. He's round.
He
Uh
is round.
yeah. And the funny thing is I have pictures of all of them because I've saved like all my files. I have like all my files and stuff from ODLH. So once we get to the like drawing board, I could show you like the inspiration behind them and you can start to
Yeah, like yeah.
yeah. So okay. So how does he look? He's round. We obviously know he's Latino. How does he talk? He does have a speech impediment, like a slight speech impediment. It's kind of cute, kind of charming. Okay. So we
Is
have
it like that comedian on Kill Tony? You know the one.
which one? Not like where he's using a robot voice.
No, 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 not him. The like the Down syndrome one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna put that. Yes.
Because like that's kind of what I'm.
Like
Yeah,
the Kill Tony comedian. But he didn't stutter though.
sure. Okay.
Not a stutter though.
Yeah, that's just added
Yeah.
for him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
Cool.
okay.
All right. We got Rudy. We got Marlon. We got Rudy. Okay. So let's do Natalie next. Let me just take a piss real quick. Hold on.
Well, are we taking a break or you're muted, G.
Oh, do you want to take 5 real quick?
Uh, no, we don't have to. I just
Okay, I'm just gonna take a
well,
I'm just gonna take just yeah, just take a quick minute. Bio break. Bro, it's crazy. This dog, do you see?
Mhm.
I had this one since he was a puppy. You see? Come here. Look at him. Look at him. Come here, DC. Get it down. Come here. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah. He's already 7, bro. He's such a good boy. Okay.
Is this the one that you would keep with Carl?
Yeah, I'm keeping this motherfucker. He's dope, bro. He's the real like I feel like he's the only true dog I have. Everyone else is some weird like Down syndrome beast. He's the only this like real dog. He runs, fetches, he listens to you.
Is he trained? Does he is he trained at all?
I'm very stupid when it comes to training. I mean, he's trained in the basic commands, sit, roll over, whatever, but he doesn't know. I need to
What
train
if
more.
you or stay? Like if you like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, he can sit and stay. Um, but
for how
huh?
long? I'll
We don't need to talk about that.
stay until I start walking away, and then
Yeah, no, I could do a lot better job, man. I ain't gonna lie. Um, did you see that picture I sent you?
yeah, so
Yeah.
random.
I know. What do you think? It's because she's texting me right now.
Yeah, she's definitely
She's cute, huh?
definitely
I like her, man. I like her. She's been texting me like nonstop, bro. This whole week we've been texting each other.
nice.
I'm falling in love, Danny. Okay. Let's do one more character and then we'll call it a day because we're gonna spend your all fucking day here, which I'm down with too, but we got shit to do. Okay. Let's do can we do the can we do the teacher? Because we haven't talked about the teacher, which is me. Kind of me.
Okay,
It could start with me and then we can move forward. Like I want to get past me. It's a better version of me.
okay.
Um, okay, let's get the questions down. Um, what is the teacher's biggest fear or insecurity? Now, if I were to tell you like what my biggest fear or insecurity is, it would be success. Like not being successful, not living up to my potential.
Okay.
Like ambitious, you know, um to a fault. Like ambitious to a fault, like feeling like you need this like validation, like career, economic, like validation in order to feel like successful. But if I went further with it, my biggest fear is feeling like my life like I wasted my life. Like I didn't do anything. Like I didn't help anyone. Like I didn't make the world a better place.
Hmm.
Um obviously I mean I have a lot of insecurities. I'm insecure about my weight. I'm insecure about um you
But
know,
the biggest, right? We're
but
just talking about
that's the biggest thing that I think shapes you, shapes me. How could we like,
the character.
huh?
Is that exactly what you want for the character? I mean, I don't know
Talk about it.
how would you tell that.
Huh? That's what I'm
How would
saying. How would you see that? I think you would see it in like the
it
way,
doesn't have to be shown because it'll come out in the way the teacher, you know, solves conflicts or handles conflicts, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put that for now. So his biggest fear, how would you say that? Summarize that for me. Biggest fear is not being enough, not being enough, not doing enough, not
Um,
living up to his potential,
like not
not
not contributing.
not contributing something. Legacy.
Sure, yeah, legacy. That that's a better
Something.
word.
Okay. What's his dream or goal? Well, I'm trying to think of myself at this time. Like first year teacher, um, like first year teacher, just trying to fucking like make it work. I think this person has like huge ambitions, like huge ambitions. They want to like, change the world, I think. Ultimately, I think this person just wants to be at peace and like this person just wants to be happy. And they think that by living a life that's, worthwhile and ambitious and stuff, that they will find happiness at the end. And maybe that's a lesson that that character could learn as well. Is that like it's not necessarily about using this as a stepping stone and like getting the fuck out of here and you just want to be here for 2 years and like you're trying to be a principal and you're trying to just this. And like it's really like this whole exercise is like a grounding, this whole like experience is like stripping down everything and like where are you at right
More
now?
than just work, it's like meaning. It's like there's a lot of like meaning there.
Hmm. I devalue, I still do it to this day, like the work that I do. Um, because it's like I'm just a teacher. Um, where it's like I'm I'm a teacher. Like that's huge. And I don't think at that time you know that. Like when you're starting off, you don't think that. You're just trying to get a job. You're just trying to fucking survive. You're like you have career goals, you have aspirations, you're trying to like move forward. And like yeah, you don't realize that you're doing good work and that you're really making a difference in these kids' lives, you know? And I think that's something that that teacher can realize towards the end. Dude, you need to take a hit for me right now. We can't both be sober.
What? I don't even have a bolt pack, G.
Pack one.
I'll pack one right now. Um,
So how would I summarize his dream or goal? I think,
impact.
yeah, impact on the world, impact impacting the world at a larger, like at a large scale.
Maybe by the end of the story, he realizes he comes to that arc that you're talking about, where he comes to understand that
He can.
he, in fact, leaving a huge impact on the world,
Mm,
right? Like butterfly effect
mm,
stuff, but
mm.
you know,
Yeah. Okay. I like that. How does he see the teacher? Well, how does he see the main character? How does he see Marlon? Sees Marlon um a kid. Sees him as a kid, empathizes with him. This is something I think it makes me unique as a teacher. Um, Not every teacher I feel like is really, I think most teachers understand they're just kids, but I don't think teachers really empathize with kids and care about the things that they're going through, like deeply, you know? So I think this teacher cares deeply about those things that are affecting him. Um, but at the same time is annoyed and gets frustrated because he's doesn't know how to deal with those things, you know? Because he doesn't know how to help it all the time. Um, is that good?
yeah, it's almost like the opposite of the way Marlon feels. It's like they both know there's only so much that he could do, but perhaps in the story, like because of extraordinary circumstances, like he ends up either coming through or maybe letting him down. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What is one secret? Damn, we're about to learn a secret that I have.
Just keep it like in relation though to like to the kids or school or something like that, right? Something that we could, because it has to be something that would um I mean, why not use like the like your, relationship, like
How so?
like a secret that he has is that he not ev like only few people know that he's cheated on his wife, something like that.
He's a cheater. He's a cheater and like what do you call those guys that are like he's promiscuous? Okay, we'll keep that's a good one. And then what's his role in the horror possession part of the story? I think he thinks he's the leader. Huh?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
He thinks he's the main character in this story, you know?
That's funny. Okay.
But in reality, he has to take maybe maybe something happens to the teacher where he becomes disabled.
What?
Yeah, like let me give you an example. What if something like say during this possession, I'm just thinking of it say during the possession something happens like and he like injures himself. Maybe his back, huh?
Has to be a head injury.
A head injury. I was even thinking like his legs, like he gets his legs taken out or like like falls
Lieutenant
down the
Dan,
stairs and can't walk anymore, huh?
like Lieutenant Dan situation.
Yeah, like what if he becomes Lieutenant Dan and he has to like and they have to get a wheelchair from the nurse's office and now he's in a wheelchair the rest of the story.
Wait, that would, yeah, but you don't
He's
just
good.
get the wheelchair and keep going if you lose your legs. Like that's like you're out for 6 months. Like,
No, no,
you
no, no. Not he didn't lose his legs. They didn't get cut off.
oh,
Maybe he just like fell down the stairs and broke his ankle or like injured himself. Like maybe he tore a ligament or something, can't walk on it.
again, like this question always depends on like how we're writing the story, which we haven't really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, this is all I'm gonna say about it. He thinks he's the main character, but in reality, he is there to support and uplift.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Because that's really what we wanted from the start.
Yeah. How does he look? Handsome as fuck. Devilishly, devilishly handsome, we'll say.
Uh,
But with gap teeth.
but like Brad Pitt or something, you're gonna just put an actor that you think is like handsome. What
Oh,
looks
who's a good like actor right now? Michael B. Jordan.
does he
No,
have
yeah.
gap teeth?
Huh?
Does he have gap teeth?
No.
Uh,
But we'll just put that.
what is it?
We'll just leave it there. Devilishly handsome.
How was the movie, G?
Oh my God. So good. I got inspired, man. Like it's so good. It's basically like it's some version of the film I want to make, if that makes any sense.
No, what do you mean?
You got to see it. You got to fucking see it. So it's a film. I don't know if you know anything about it. The premise of it. Okay. I'm not gonna spoil it.
No, I'll watch the trailer. I'll watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer. Watch the trailer, bro. It's such a good fucking movie on many, many, many levels. And it's
Who
honestly,
directed?
huh?
Who directed?
Ryan Coogler, Black Panthers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, but I think in many ways, I'm gonna make a bold claim here. I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best horror movies. Um, can I call it horror? Can you even call it horror? What the fuck is it? It's genre bending. It's genre bending. It's like it's
Like Bone
just,
Afraid.
huh?
Like Bo is Afraid is genre bending.
Yes. It's like it's creating a new genre of like horror because it's not horror. It has horror elements and it's like based in
The
horror,
Holy Mountain,
but huh?
like the Holy Mountain.
No, that's a whole nother that's
Yeah,
a
it is.
whole nother True.
Oh, they were
That's
on
way
S,
different.
by the way.
Yeah, that's way different. No, this is more along the lines of like it's not quite like Hereditary because Hereditary is clearly horror. It's not quite like even like Scream or any of those films because those are clearly like horror films and but they do bend genres a little bit. It's like a period piece mixed with like horror mixed with like an action movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very interesting and it's funny
Is it,
too.
is it similar to any of Jordan Peele's work?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. They're very like reminiscent. I feel like they kind of exist on a similar plane of what they're doing right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. By the way, I saw Get Out again. I really loved it.
Amazing movie.
Really
I've
loved
seen
it. Yeah.
it
I didn't
yet.
appreciate it fully in theaters for whatever reason. I just couldn't like something about the plot. It was like slow. It just wasn't what I was expecting. And like,
Really?
yeah, it was weird.
I love it.
I knew it
Interstellar.
was good. Like I'm not gonna shit on it, but it wasn't what I had higher expectations.
It didn't capture you.
Yeah, it didn't capture me. I wasn't like enthralled or like moved in the moment. And now that I've seen it again, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like the dynamics there, the father-son dynamic, like the um trying to find his purpose, like there's a lot of symbolism in it. Really good movie. How does he talk? He has like a surfer,
Just yeah, SoCal, typical SoCal cliche
typical
voice.
cliche, yeah, voice. Okay. Okay. So we got our teacher, we got our Rudy guy, we got our Marlin. Okay. We're making good progress here. Um, now going forward, I'm gonna get out of that real quick. Going forward, do we want to keep spending this time on our characters, or are you ready? Like, let's just go in.
Because the rest of the characters can develop as the story, like,
Okay.
you know, depending on the story,
Okay.
etc.
So goals for next meeting. Let's start working on
Let me ask you a question to close out the
yeah.
because I want to take some specific notes. I asked Chat GPT. I just used the movie Psycho
Uh-huh.
as an example, but I said, how would you discover, or what did I say? Like as if here, like if the movie hadn't been filmed or written yet, if you were creating the exact script of the movie Psycho, how it actually ended up being in real life. Like, how would you? Well, what would be your process of discovering that story? And it was interesting, like the way, um,
Tell me about that. I don't know. I can't even read what
yeah.
you
So step one, start with a central situation or question. Because Psycho is such a cool, like, I don't know if you remember the movie very much, but it's like such a cool story, right? Like for its time, like it's like the twist is like crazy.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so it's like the creative seed. What happens when someone on the run makes a fateful stop at the wrong place? Let's say I start with the idea of a woman, Marianne, stealing money and trying to escape. I'm not even thinking about Norman or the hotel yet. My first writing goal is explore her choice. Why does she steal? Where is she going? What's the emotional pressure? That gives me the first cause and effect link. Cause, she steals money out of desperation. Effect, she hits the road and I need a turning point. Step two, introduce a narrative detour. I need something unexpected to interrupt her journey. What if she stops at a small eerie motel? Now I start thinking, the motel is off the beaten path. The owner is polite but strange. He mentions his mother, who we never see. I'm just trying to make this moment uncomfortable. But the more I write Norman, the more fascinating he becomes. His psychology starts to open up. Now I discover, wait, What if Norman's not just odd, but actually dangerous? What if Mother is more than she seems? Step three, flip the narrative midway. This is where I realize, what if the woman we think is the protagonist dies halfway through? That's bold. It changes everything. Suddenly, the theft doesn't matter as much, the motel does. So I write, Marlon is killed. Norman cleans up, clearly covering for Mother, but we never see the killer's face. Now I have a huge tonal shift, and the cause and effect chain grows darker. Cause, Marion's presence disturbs Norman's fragile mind. Effect, Mother kills her because it's like a silhouette, right? Norman has to hide the body. Step four, introduce new viewpoints. Now that Marion is gone, the story needs to continue, but from new eyes. Her sister Lila is looking for answers, her boyfriend Sam, and then there's a private investigator, uh, Arbogast is his name. As I follow their point of views, I naturally uncover the timeline. Marion vanished X amount of days ago. Orbagast finds Norman, but then he disappears. The others start retracing steps. This gives me a structure. Day one, theft. Day two, motel and murder. Day three, investigation. Day four, Sam and Leela confront Norman. Step five, uncover the twist while writing. I keep Norman ambiguous, maybe even to myself, until I write the scene where someone sneaks into the house and finds Mrs. Bates'
Ok, ahí
corpse.
voy.
It's almost done.
Sí. ¿Vas a ir tú? ¿Dónde vas? Ah, ok, ahí voy. Ah, ok, ahorita voy.
Uh, I keep, Norman ambiguous, maybe even to myself, until I write the scene where someone sneaks into the house and finds Mrs. Bates's corpse. Suddenly the twist hits. Oh my God, Norman is Mother. I realize Norman has been split this whole time. So I go back to the script and plant seeds. He talks to her off screen. He uses a woman's voice. He acts nervous about anyone meeting her. Now everything retroactively snaps into place. Step six, final rewrites to connect all threads. Now I have a full-time timeline on my hands, not because I planned it from the start, but because the characters and their choices revealed it as I wrote. I revisit Marion's scenes to plant doubts and guilt, Norman's dialogue, deepen the illusion, the transition between characters, make the shift feel smooth. In summary, how did I discover the timeline? Start with a small human decision, Marion stealing money. Follow her logic naturally to a new place, Bates Motel. Let new characters emerge from tension, Norman, Mother. Let the plot surprise me. Marion dies, Norman is unwell. Shift POV to outsiders who slowly reveal the truth. Discover the twist by writing towards confrontation. Go back and stitch it together into a tight cause and effect timeline. The result, a structure that feels inevitable, but only after writing reveals what the story is about.
Oh.
I just thought like, and I want to do that for maybe a couple.
What did you prompt that? Like, how did you prompt that?
I did several. So the first thing I asked was, I said, break down the cause and effect of a story of the movie Psycho in a timeline. But wasn't satisfied. So I said, how would you have discovered the timeline for this movie if you were writing it? I'd like to see the process.
Okay.
Um, and then but then he's like saying like watch the movie like as if it was already there, and I was like, no, if you were discovered, if it hadn't been written yet. I'm asking, if this is what I said, I'm asking it as if the movie hadn't been filmed or written yet, if you were creating the exact script that actually ended up being in real life. And then that's what it told me.
Oh, that's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Okay, so we gotta apply that to our writing process.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Hmm.
That's why I was so eager this whole meeting. I was like, let's get to the story. And you're like coming up like completely the other way. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do characters, but all right, we'll do it.
Okay. Next week or we'll dive right into the story then.
All right, so are we doing Tuesday or next Saturday?
I'm excited about that. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like this prompt was from, does it have the date that I did it? No. This was that day that I was
That you lost your mind.
yeah. This is the prompts and stuff that before I was waiting for you because you were like lagging for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh That's the prompt that I put up.
Oh, okay, cool.
I never even got to that, because of yeah, everything. But anyways, and I didn't get it to last time too because it just never came up. But
Yeah.
I knew that was useful, so.
Okay. That's sick as fuck. Okay, for sure.
And I want to do it, and I did it for Psycho because it's it's still like a relatively simple story with
Yeah.
very few characters, right? Less than 10 characters. Um, and yeah,
Mhm.
so, but I
Cool.
want to do it with like a few other movies, but nothing that's like, I don't know. What do you think would be another good movie, like relatively simple movie to do that for, like to discover the writing process?
Mason. Ahoy. Ahoy.
Hey,
Go get it.
he wants
Um,
to
huh?
play. He wants to play. He wants to
Yeah.
like. He's asking me to play
Yeah.
with him.
He gets into these like occasionally he'll want me to throw it to him, but he doesn't like to like be kept waiting a lot.
I could see that.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, I'm good with you. So then he goes on his own and just chill. Um, what would be a good movie to do that with? Like a classic movie, something we've seen already.
Because like I chose Psycho because it's a simple plot, relatively simple plot, very few characters, and it's still horror.
It's another classic horror movie that we could work on. Halloween or something.
I really like this using it as like
You
as
know
like
what? You know what makes me like encouraged, and I gotta go right now, but Halloween. Like, what is Halloween? The film, Michael Myers. Have you seen the original?
yes, I don't remember it.
Oh, homework.
I mean that's the one at camp, right? And it's
Homework.
like right.
Okay, we'll have one film for homework this. What is our homework from last week? Okay, I already saw the
I'll do
magic,
it for Halloween.
huh?
I'll do it for Halloween for sure.
Okay, we'll do Halloween. Um, do we still want to watch the Magic Mountain? Is that necessary right now? Can we table that? The
Sure.
Holy Mountain? Is there a film you want to really watch?
Um,
I still would like to watch.
there's films I kind of want to rewatch. Like I want to rewatch Hereditary and um uh
Okay.
there was another that I wanted to rewatch.
Let's
Just
let's let's follow back up with the homework. I gotta go take Carl to the vet real quick.
for sure.
But yeah, I think Halloween would be a good first start.
All right.
That's classic horror, like, you know what I mean? It's just like if we're gonna be working within this genre somehow, like we need to.
Oh, I wanted to do it with the birds.
Oh, okay, so let's do some Hitchcock.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do the birds and Halloween. Okay.
that's what I.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do the birds and Halloween, just a classic like horror films. And I think those are great because they're simple. Like they're simple films, relatively speaking. You know, it's like, especially Halloween, like when you watch that film, you're gonna be like, this? It's like, but it's amazing what they do with the simplicity,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
not. Is it
What?
Halloween or is it
Yeah.
slash? It's
It's
horror.
horror slash slasher, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
tight man. We're leaving inspired. We're leaving yearning for more. We don't want it to stop. We gotta go. All right,
Yeah, I love that. All right. So we'll catch up then.
all right, man.
All right.
Adjourned.
Peace out.